Your man talking about MS-271. I just took the cover off it. So some things that I do that I know that I worked on it is I'll check the cover. I write on the inside of it. I can tell my work, some of the things that I do, I look for specifics. I also can tell if they've been running it or not been running it. So he said I needed to do 4 tanks of gas through this. And then he started having a bearing problem after the second tank of gas, which was missing, and it was missing the inner plate, which I don't know how he did that. So it's pretty good evident that he hadn't run it really. He hadn't broken in the new cylinder. Not all dirty and crap all up in the flywheel. Muffler's not all nasty. So anyways, got the cover off. I'm going to throw my tack on it. My tack that I use is an Echo tack. I picked it up a long time ago. I love this thing. You got to have a digital tack. I do the lower RPM. I set the high. I watch the tack. I pull the motor out to its high peak. Pull it back in a little bit to keep it off the high end so you don't burn it up. But you know, it's critical on these saws. Let me go over it real quick. I'll keep everything under 2 minutes for you. You got to keep your saw running. First, the oil mixture, 50-1. That's what I use. Oregon Synthetics, what I like. You can use AMSOIL, 100-1. All these other products, Stihl. But I've always had Oregon. I've taken my tools apart, well oiled, easy to clean, always look good, low carbon. That's my opinion. You got to keep the chain sharp. Okay, this is a new chain on this. You got to keep them sharp. If they're dull, if power head runs too high, you burn up the piston. If they're dull, you run the chain too hard, you run everything high, it overheats, you burn it up, right? You run it sharp and too deep, you overwork the engine and you run it too high. You shouldn't always run it high power, straight through cutting wood. Take a pause on it, let it cool down. Don't shut your saw down the minute you set it on the ground. Let it idle for a minute or two. Let it cool down. Let the motor acclimate itself so the cylinder is equally heated, because now the exhaust is hotter than the intake, and then you get what's called squish. And when you squish a piston, this is a squished piston. Improperly or lubricated, improperly cooled down, improperly broken in, it is squished, right? That's what it did. It destroyed this piston. This 461 that I set back out the door with a nice pop-up cross piston, right? And the cylinder was in great shape. So anyways, that's my dissertation on 271. Watch the video, hit likes, do whatever you gotta do, share it with a friend, and send me a jingle. You got questions, just ask. I'm Henry, the Weed Eater Man, out.